Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, to another episode of the Sky Into Eye show, or should I say the second episode of the day, because we done had a whole ass good show
I know.
before we done click record, but that's cool. 2i and myself will bring you the goods around your Dallas Cowboys. We're going to break down this Jets game and kind of look ahead a little bit if you can, but a lot of good 2i came out of this week. We finally got on the winning side of football, and yeah, I know a lot of people 0-4 Jets, but 1 week at a time. You got to start somewhere, and it does feel good to get on the right track, man.
Well, I ain't trying to hear all that.
Me either.
I ain't trying to hear all that because it was, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and even if you want to argue on the defensive side of the ball, they held them to 3 points for 3 quarters. It was the way that you're supposed to win games against those type of teams. Is what you're supposed to do. Also, too, and I said this on Twitter, and I mean it from the depths of my heart. We see this in the draft. We see this in a lot of draft conversations. I talked to numerous scouts about this. The development of the offensive line is something that is lacking in the NFL. It's something that teams wish. You know how many teams wish that if they had 4 starters out, they could still operate?
Schotty said he doesn't recall that ever happening to him, and I said that on my show. I don't remember the last time that's happened.
No,
On
so I
any
don't
team.
want to hear it. And I know we're going to get into it where it wasn't always pretty. There were some hiccups. There were some issues. Even Shotty mentioned it yesterday. He was like, listen, even we didn't do what we needed to do in the run game. But
They held it
it's
down.
not something I think we should snuff at. And one of the things I took away from it, I'm not even going to say I took it away because I said it before the game. Your clipboard warriors have to come out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's gonna be games where the coaches, like the players got to execute, but the coaches got to come on with it. And my God, the offensive coaches really did they big one this past weekend, Sky.
Man, somebody on Twitter was like, "Stop talking about Klayton Adams." No,
No,
I
no.
won't stop it.
Well, because they
So
scared
quit
he gonna
asking.
get poached. And
Do
I think
they think people in the NFL don't know who these coaches are? Come on.
they definitely know. But if I'm not mistaken, most of the coaches are under contract for 3 years. I know that those things can be broken and all that stuff.
Only
But
if they are elevated, then they can,
yeah. So, and we don't even know if Clayton Adams wants to be a head coach. We don't know if he wants to do that right now. So, he's good. He's a fantastic run game coordinator. And it's one thing I love about you, Sky, is that, even last year, and that's something you've done for years now, is that you go into the opponent in detail in a way that I think that most people don't. And you start from the coordinator because the scheme matters. And I think that's
matters.
so awesome that you touch on that because your breakdown of the Cardinals last year really put me on to how good of a run game coordinator that Clayton Adams is. And so the community thanks you for your work, big bro.
Appreciate that. Hey, let's get to some quick news and notes because it does pertain to the offensive line. Jerry Jones spoke this morning. And again, to be fair to all the fans watching out there, y'all know I don't really like to listen to a lot of what Jerry says. But he said a couple things today that I do feel like we do have to kind of touch on a bit. And one of those things that he mentioned, we will touch on later in our new segment. I don't want to call it a new segment, but we'll play another game. I like playing games with 2i here. And we're going to play a little of we listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
We don't judge. But before we get there, he did talk about a couple of players that could be returning here. Cowboys, you mentioned, we're without 4 starting offensive linemen. Crazy. But the Cowboys could be getting back a couple of those dudes. He said it looks like, he said this, but paraphrasing here, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, they're on the up and up of potentially returning. Smith obviously could have played. He was sitting on the bench as an emergency guy, but he did not play. But he looks like he'll be returning. Booker, from what I was hearing here, has a chance. He's been upgraded to day, but I think given how they performed last week, there's a possibility that they could stretch this out a little bit further. For me, I thought Booker and Lamb were guys that were targeting, since you didn't put them on IR, targeting the Washington game. And against these Panthers, again, I love to have everybody out there, but if I can get an extra week of rest, I think you should be able to handle business against a Panther team without those two, but you might get back Turpin. They said their fingers are crossed on Turpin returning this week, which would be huge, which again will give me a reason to say, take your time, CD. Make sure you're all the way back so we can have you for a long stretch and not a short time.
Yeah, I mean, ankles ain't nothing to play with. You got some, if you can get through this game with the Panthers, who are coming off a big win, got
Yeah.
some momentum. You can get through this game. You got some divisional games coming up. Man, listen, like I think this as we get later into the season, this playoff race is gonna be tight. You're gonna need to optimize the opportunities to get these wins against these teams in the AFC, more in the NFC, and those AFC teams that maybe your divisional opponents have beat. So I agree with you, man. Like, if this operation can still function without some of these guys, you're not gonna do a die. Then go ahead and let them sit they asses on the sideline. I'm
All right.
cool with it, bro. I don't want
I'm
them.
with you. I don't think it's necessary to rush them back. Definitely because your quarterback, your offense has proven that they can not only be sustainable without him, but they're putting up 40 points. Putting up 40 points without your top guys out there. I mean, I don't give a damn who they're playing. It's the NFL. And to do that without four starters, without two starting off wide receivers, just super, super impressive, which takes us right into first down, man. Next man up, the Cowboys. And I know it's a very cliche thing to say, and it's not always just, hey, next man up, everything's going to be okay. But that has been the case for the Cowboys the last 2 weeks. They won into New York, banged up everywhere, not just on the offensive line, but at safety, at wide receiver.
Mhm,
And obviously, still trying to figure things out up front on the pass rush side, and which shows some improvement. But I kind of want to just quickly go through some of these units slash players that were the next men up per se in regards to injuries that happened before and that happened during the game. Let's start right
mhm,
there with the offensive line. We talked about Klayton Adams, man, and giving him a big shout out, but let's also kind of give a shout out to the actual players that were out there. They were rolling out undrafted free agents and a seventh round pick against the Jets, who still have a Will McDonald and a Quinnen Williams up front.
mhm.
So, granted, it's not the Packers front, it's not the Giants front, but still a couple good dudes. Thought
Harrison
the
too.
Yeah, Harrison Phillips, a solid veteran.
Mhm,
I thought they had a good plan, but I also thought the players showcased some things in this one. We're talking about T.J. Bass. You were mentioning behind the scenes. Brock Hoffman didn't give up a pressure in this game. I thought Terrence Steele was your best overall offensive lineman from top to bottom. And Nate struggled, but Nate also showed you some things in this game to say, okay, there's some development there that you can work on, and you love to have a guy like that behind your starting tackles
mhm.
who can potentially push one of them. But all in all, and Adeniji. Let me give some respect to Adeniji.
Yeah, I was
I
about to say,
thought
yeah,
he
his
played
first
with some
start.
some nastiness. How'd you like the individual play from these dudes?
Well, first of all, we give the Cowboys a lot of crap, but some of these free agent signings have come up big. I mean, I think about a Reddy Stewart and just the fact that he's in that nickel spot. It's not always the prettiest, but you got a veteran that can man
I
that
think he's your
spot.
best nickel.
Hakeem Adeniji is another guy who this is his. I saw his wife post about it yesterday. This is his first start since 2022. And I think him coming out and just man in that left guard spot. I was surprised because I didn't know if the Cowboys were going to want to move TJ Bass to the left guard spot or what they were going to decide to do with that. But they decided to plug in Hakeem Adeniji, and I thought that he did some good things in the trap game. Just being
Yeah,
able to really seal off guys, and he plays with some punch. He has a little
some
power
nasty.
behind those backs, some nasty to him. So he temperament wise, like shout out again to the evaluators for seeing that his temperament also, because that matters. Temperament matches what they want to be on the ground. And then you talk about TJ Bass, I mean, arguably to me, the best offensive lineman on the field this past couple of weeks. He has really improved with his hands. He's one, and I think if I'm
Technician.
not mistaken, I heard Booker talking about that is that, that's something they've been working with him, just striking faster, like punching faster. Cause sometimes he can get a little lazy with his hands, but his ability to fight through the rep. I mean, you saw a couple times where he is literally just mirroring Quentin Williams. That's not
That's that
easy to
tackle in
do.
him. That's that
That's not
tackle in him.
easy. Yeah, that's not easy to do. And obviously he has that power. He's always had a strong lower half where he can anchor, but his hand technique, I think, has really improved. And I mean, say what you want to say. I think TJ Bass is a starter somewhere else, but Dallas is just blessed to have him as a backup. So yeah, to your point, yeah, I think the offensive line came together. Nate Thomas, when you talk about him, one thing, a couple things about Nate Thomas that I noticed on film when I watched him when he was at Louisiana. Shout out to the Cajuns. He has, the thing about him is that in the run game he has an aggressiveness, and he's just an aggressive player in general. So there's times where you see him, especially trying to get to the second level, he's almost too aggressive. I want him to set his feet a little bit better, square up and get inside those pads and drive guys. You can see that sometimes he's going in sideways or he's not catching guys clean. Also, too, it's the feet. Like his feet,
That's
it's we yeah, because his feet aren't. It's weird because his feet aren't bad. It's not like he's just slow footed, but he is a bigger guy.
yes.
So some of that agile stuff is not something that just naturally comes to him. His feet can get a little clunky at times in some of these exchanges. And again, getting to the second level with the hand tech, I think that he's still working on, not getting caught, not getting his hands caught outside of people's pads, and just really making sure that he's refining, like having a steady base and things. This is his first game, though. This is his first game as a starter, and Will McDonald is not nothing to snuff at. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple. He was catching him with that spin move. He was catching him, kind of catching him going inside and out. Some of that quick footed speed was giving him some trouble, but I do think that, like you said, Sky, I think he should continue to get the opportunities to, to battle there. But there's still some refining that he needs to do that I think Tyler
Yeah.
Guyton is a little ahead of in certain areas. And that's what I'll say about that. Sorry. I know that was a long-winded breakdown, but
No, and Terrence Steele.
and Terrence Steele. And Terrence, y'all gonna stop being mean to Terrence Steele because
Your
he has
auntie
his
has spoken.
y'all gonna stop being mean to him. Because I understand, I just tweeted it too. Like I understand in pass pro, there's times where you just be like, now Terrence, what's going on here? He struggles with some of those guys that can beat him on the inside. He struggles with guys that, decide to go power. They didn't do that as much in this game. They did a whole bunch of with him, and he was like,
He'll
okay.
take that.
And that's what you're gonna do. Thanks,
But when they
guys.
did go power, you saw him have some tough time. And I said it every week. Why do teams decide to try to play around with it? Just go power. But if you don't, fine. He'll handle you pretty well unless you have some technique to use to, like you said, set up the outside and get inside. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, what he gives you in the run game, dog.
yeah.
Like, I mean, some of the things that he's able to do because he is so quick footed, how he's able to literally just like there's times, and I don't even think an offensive lineman should be doing this, but he's almost like jump cutting. Does that even make sense? Like where he can literally like be in a space and then his feet are fast enough to just like
Talking about his pass set.
in his pass sets,
Oh,
like
he gets to
sometimes.
his landmark very smoothly.
Well, I'm talking about in the run game, his
Okay,
ability
okay,
to
okay.
adjust in the
Oh
run
yeah,
game. And
he's always been an agile. I know this is gonna sound crazy to a lot of people, but he's an athlete.
yeah,
He's an athlete at the position. Always has been. He just struggles with strength in the pass department. But it's not that he can't get to his landmark there. It's not like he can't get to his landmark in the run department. He did some good things cutting off defenders. I thought he battled Quentin Williams. I mean, he played. People got Terrence effed up when it comes to like tenacity. Like
oh, he's gonna
he's a
work really hard.
tenacious person. Not work
Mm,
hard on the field. Like
mhm,
when he can get his hands on you, he's very tenacious in finishing these things, and he has some battles with Quentin that was very impressive.
mhm,
I thought your tackles in the run game, really fought. I thought Terrence was the best in regards to that, but that's what makes it tough about just completely replacing him. He is your best run, in my opinion. He's your best run
run
blocking
blocker.
offensive
Yes.
lineman, and to completely just scoff over that and get rid of that, I do think is questionable. I think what you want to do is push him, as you say,
Mhm.
okay, you're really good at this, you're not that great at the other part, but we got somebody on you that if you don't continue to get better there, we can replace you. But I'm not just looking to completely get him off the team right now when you are looking to be a physical run team. And you want to lean on the run a little bit more. That's your best run guy.
Yeah,
You want to make sure you help him out. And I thought they did a good job in helping him out and helping out
Nate
Nate
Thomas.
Thomas,
Yeah.
specifically in the middle of the game. I think they realized, okay, Will McDonald's a tough ask pretty early in that game too. And they said, all right, we're going to start helping out with some chips and tight ends. And the tight ends and running backs help both tackles out in this game. It's
Yeah.
it's a team effort here.
I agree. And speaking of team effort, Brock Hoffman, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys only gave up what? How many
The
pressures?
least amount of this was the most astonishing stat from the day. The least amount of pressures I want to say in Dak Prescott's career.
Bye.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, only, one pressure
Could be
given
wrong,
up
y'all, but I thought I heard that.
one pressure given up by Terrence Steele, 3 by Nate Thomas. Obviously, like we talked about, Will McDonald caught him a couple times, but I also thought that Brock Hoffman did a good job, helping
Zero
out his
pressures.
guards at times. There were times where huh?
Zero pressures. Brock for the first,
0,
he
yeah,
got
0
gave up
pressure from
9
him.
pressures the 2 weeks prior. He gave up none. I thought, and I came into this game saying that's the matchup: Quinnen versus Brock. If he can,
Yep.
stalemate that, he didn't just stalemate it. He won on the interior, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and, so I thought he did a good job kinda helping out some of those guards when they needed. There were times where he didn't even need to help, but he just kinda yeah. Brock is a asshole.
He
He's an
played with that dog.
asshole. He really be like, there's times where he even had nobody to block, and he just be like,
You gotta look
"Mm,"
for work, man.
just hit somebody in the ribs.
You have
I'm
to,
like,
as an O lineman, they're watching that in that film room. If you're not looking
"Come
for
on,
work,
block."
they'll call you out.
Yeah, no, I agree, and
Find work.
you mentioned the tight ends. I think that the tight ends are doing a lot in the blocking game, and I thought the receivers did a lot. Like some of those big runs were because of Tolbert, Flanoy, Ferg, Brevin Spanford, who be snatching bodies out there. I think there's a collective effort in the run game, like we talked about, that I don't know if we've seen as efficiently or
No.
regularly in past years. So just that buy-in, I think matters to me, and especially if you're trying to get more explosive plays. The good teams that have explosive plays in the run game have wide receivers and tight ends that like to block.
I just pointed out a play on Twitter, the crack toss. I love the design of crack toss. It was like 12 personnel, but also 21 at the same damn time because you had a
Oh, he was
fullback
getting
back
fancy.
there. And it was condensed in a really nice executed play. A great block by guess who, y'all? Jalen Tolbert.
I synced it. I
He threw
synced
my
it.
man out the club. But that's what you got to do. And the thing is, it's not like he never had the effort to do it. He just wasn't good at it. And I do think he is, as well as a lot of these other receivers, are improved blockers this year. Now, granted, improved may not still mean you're not good, but you're better than what you were in yesteryear. And in this game, when you're not getting the ball, this wasn't a game where they designed to go to Tolbert. In this one, it was the other guy, which we'll get to her in a second. You have to do other things
Oh
to
yeah.
help your team. And on that specific play, I think it generated like 11 yards or something like that. Beautiful crack toss. You got Nate Thomas out in space, who pretty much escorted the cornerback out of bounds. He didn't want no smoke. You got Tober throwing his guy out the club. Span forward, just get out of here, 55. And you had, which I'm starting to think maybe they just put a damn tight end back there. But you had Lipke lead blocking, but it's weird. Lipke this year is weird, but he didn't. He did what he could do. He did what
Well,
he
I
could
thought he was better lead blocking in this game than
do.
I've seen
Okay.
him in the previous games. Like, I think it's asking a lot of him because he's not a big
I don't
dude.
think that's his. I mean, he's relatively speaking, but
It's
he's
enough. I mean, it's enough, but it's not like dominant. It's not like making a huge difference.
no,
Now, I will say there were a couple times with some of Javonte's runs that he is the person that's lead blocking. I think maybe they're
a
building
lot of
some rapport.
runs.
Yeah, I think they're building a little bit more rapport, but I think it is a lot to ask him to continuously do that.
I mean, if that's going to be his role, then that's something that over the next couple years under his contract, that's what he just needs to lean into in the offseason. Because I thought it was going to be more of a weapon as a like pass game, run game, as opposed to lead blocker.
me
If that's the
too.
case, go sign a Lorenzo Neal type. If you, but that's a whole nother discussion. But
I
it's just
mean,
back to the receiver aspect and tight ends and blocking. You can tell that is a part of their DNA,
mhm.
right? And that starts back in camp when you reported that long time ago.
Yeah, and to your point about Tolbert, there was some he was doing some clear out routes and things like that. Even on that big Pickens TD, like Tolbert has to clear out his guy, and I think that that's a part of like number one. I feel like the way that the dude that we about to talk about is playing too, like there's that competition is real, and if you gonna be on the field, you gotta block, you gotta clear guys out, like you gotta be
You got
doing
to
what you're
find
supposed
a
to be
way to
doing.
make an impact, whether you have the
Yes,
ball or not. And I
absolutely.
think that is something that they're preaching there. And the person you talk about there is Ryan Flournoy, or Flournoy, however you want to pronounce it.
It's
But
Illinois.
Flo is what we gonna call him, because boy, did he have a breakout game in this one. that was so beautiful to see because you saw it building in preseason. You saw,
Mhm.
but Joe Milton just couldn't get him to rock. And I feel like if he got him to rock, I don't think it. I think it would have been case closed. But coming out of preseason, I think a lot of people thought he earned the right to be that kind of fourth guy.
Mhm.
But that never happened. And honestly, it doesn't shock me. It didn't because going into the year, especially against an Eagles team and early in the season, they probably want to go with guys they trusted a little bit more. But this is what you're supposed to do when the opportunity is called. You're supposed to show up so you can gain that trust. And from behind the scenes, hearing that's happened to the point where they're okay with being patient with certain aspects of this team because Flo went out there and did good. You saw all his skills on display. You saw Dak trust him in game in that manner. And I think that's a beautiful thing because I mentioned this on Twitter. It was nice to see Pickens last week be able to show, okay, I can be dominant one if you need me to go without Lamb. It
Mhm.
was nice to see Flo this week show what he showed without a Cavante Turpin. Because when you get all these guys back, in my opinion, you have Pickens, Lamb, Turp, and Flournoy. You don't lose any dynamic ability
Mhm.
if somebody subbed out or if you have four wide or what have you. Those dudes give you dynamic ability that I'd rival across the league.
Oh yeah.
I don't know any other teams four, but I would rival that four, and you can even go to five. I know a lot of people, Tober's trash, this and that, but if Tober's my fifth or sixth receiver, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I will live with that any day and tomorrow. So I just thought fantastic game by Flournoy, and I hope that this isn't a situation where when Lamb and Turp returns, he just goes back to being the fifth or sixth guy. I think he's earned the right to at least spell somebody or earn the right to at least be a part of certain like traditional or three wide receiver sets.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I agree. And we talked about this. I remember when he made the team. I remember when cuts came out. We was like, okay. Like, there might have been one person that we was like, we didn't want to get cut, but the majority of, like, the 53 that we saw was we felt like people earned those spots, and Flournoy was one of those guys. And so I think what stands out to me in, like, some of your worry about what's going to happen when CD and Turpin come back is one thing that Brian Schottenheimer has talked about is that he wants to be multiple. And being multiple to me is defenses have a harder time game planning for onesies, twosies, whatever. If you got multiple guys that can come out there and play, stress the defense. Like that's what I'm looking for. And so if you got different guys, different packages, and like you said, you're not gonna lose the dynamics when you have to sub guys out and stuff like that, then you are cooking with fish grease.
Yes, sir.
Furthermore,
Or ma'am.
teams are opting to play more too high. Okay, well, shoot, we gonna run the ball at them, and so you're gonna. So my point is saying that Shotty said he wants to be multiple. If he stays true to that, which I think he will, then Flournoy will be on the field and they'll find ways to keep him involved in the offense. And then also too, you look at the usage. Some of the things they had him doing, some of the deep crossers, the curl routes, the stop routes. He really has the ability to stop on a dime, put his foot in the ground, and accelerate. He's very strong at the catch point. One thing that's always stood out to me is his ability to snatch the ball out of
Yes.
the air, how quick his hands
That's
are.
Chris Carter right there for you.
Quarterbacks love that. Yeah, Chris Carter and
Working with him.
quarterbacks love that. The athletic profile is on display like no other. And this Cowboys offense is not a speedy offense. I think you get speed with him. You get speed with Turpin,
Turp. Yeah.
like, because CD's not slow by any means, but he's not a burner. I think that Flournoy and Turpin really give you that speed element that can really take the offense to the next level. So I agree with you, man. It's just it's a good feeling to have that you have multiplicity on the offense. You can run the ball, you pass the ball. You can run the ball, you pass the ball. Because for a while now, it's been one or the other, or none at all, or none at all,
I
brother.
ain't seen a run game like this in a long, long time.
Ever?
Uh, it,
Since
it,
when?
no, I ain't say ever. I say in a long, long time.
Well, schematically, have you seen anything like this at Dallas? Like
Oh
some of the
yeah.
teams they played
Well,
this
it's a
during.
different scheme, but we had a good run scheme under Callahan and then early Linehan, which was still Callahan. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I haven't seen this type of run in a long, long time. You hear the names I just said?
Them was a
Callahan and Linehan,
long,
the
long,
hands.
long, 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 long time.
It's been since the hands, and in fact, I do want to touch on. I want to touch on this run game right now. Have you fallen and gotten injured at work? You should probably call a lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $25 billion for their clients.
$25 billion? That's a hell of a lot of money.
If the insurance companies tried to lowball you, Morgan & Morgan is able to take the pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan gonna cost you? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful.
That's right. You don't owe unless you win.
And if you don't know how to hire a lawyer and it sounds too hard, it's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and then in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. You can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Wait, there's more than one because... Let me see the script. Oh, last name. Oh, okay, roll it.
You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Skywalker. The link in the description. Because boy, Javonte Williams, I mean, he has to be the biggest value from a free agent signing across the entire National Football League. And look, I do credit a lot of this to what Klayton Adams and them are bringing from a run game standpoint. Because I said this the other day, it starts with me with scheme and blocking, and then we get to the back. A back can make a blocking better, but scheme makes everybody better. So if we talk about this in offseason, I think that we're going to be an improved run team, period, because of Klayton Adams and Connor Riley and Schotty.
About this.
We did.
We
but
talked about it.
How good was going to depend on how good the backs were going to be. And Javonte Williams has been so damn good. I mean, he's top 3 or 5 in every statistical category you could think of. Amazing 66-yard run, amazing 1-yard run, 2-yard run to set up the Cowboys for their touchdown the following play. Just barreling through, getting tackled in the backfield. He literally, you couldn't fit this better on like a glove. He fits exactly what Klayton Adams wants out of the physicality, out of the violence, what Schotty wants. He talks about that, right? He talked about it yesterday. They asked him about Javonte Williams. What do you like most? He said, I keep repeating myself, but it's the physicality. He plays with the physicality. But what also another underrated aspect of his game is he can catch the rock out the backfield. He can pass block. He has that veteran awareness. People forget coming into the season. He had a couple seasons where he had like over 40 catches, out the backfield, which means that he is involved in the pass game, whether it be from reception standpoint or pass blocking standpoint. So when the Cowboys had dismissed taking a lead back in the draft, he talked about it. He said, oh, actually running back 1 because of what he can do for 3 downs. Whether we like it or not, that's what it is. And I don't think that's really going to change unless someone else takes that mantle, and no one has, and nor should they. Just real quick on him, and then I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because I got to give the good. Then there's a concern that I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, but just Javonte Williams' game there, and if you want to talk about his season in general, it's been a wonderful surprise.
Well, we probably got the same concern, but because we be here, but you talked
for nothing.
Twin. You talked about the offensive. You talked about Javonte Williams and how physically he runs the ball. I feel like the offensive line and him go together.
Yeah.
The energy of what Connor Riley asked from that offensive line and what Klayton Adams are asking for that offensive line, like the game within the game is that they turn each other up. The running back can see the running back can see these offensive linemen working for him. He can see them finishing these blocks. He can feel that, and vice versa. Like when Javonte goes for 3 yards on a negative play, like the offensive linemen feel that. So
Yeah.
I think it's also like a collective, they're a unit and they're working together as a unit. You mentioned his receiving ability. Another thing that I thought was awesome coming from him even last year when he wasn't running the ball perfectly was the pass protection and the awareness in pass protection. Now the quarterback is helping a lot with that because he showed me
Yes.
like, hey, move your ass over there because I see that rush coming from over here. He set it a lot of these protections, but just his ability to he's already physical. He ain't scared to run through somebody's face. So taking on some of those blitzes and stuff are things that he's not afraid of as well. And Schottenheimer said he's our bell cow.
That part.
I love that. But is there a cow without a bell? Because I
Okay.
feel like that's what your concern is, and that's the you gonna do the sound. Doo doo. There it is.
Yeah, it's sickening how much you know me.
I
Sickening.
know you, bro.
Okay. Yeah. I love it all. I love what we're seeing from Javonte Williams.
Love it.
But
Help!
yes.
Somebody help!
Help me.
Help me! Can I breathe?
Because boy,
Can I breathe?
again, I'm at the point where clearly you don't trust Jaden Blue to be that guy. So Miles Sanders, okay, since the fumble, he's been okay. That's whatever. But doesn't whatever for me is Miles Sanders. Clearly not enough to give him 10, 11, 12 touches. Not that you want to do that every week.
Lipke, an offensive lineman.
It's really Javonte Williams. And
That's it. Sorry.
And look, it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. But let me just tell you what he's on pace for. Not just his beautiful numbers of 1,500 yards and 20 tutties. That's all fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong. We got to get there. He on pace for over 325 touches. That would be top 5 in 2024. With a guy that is coming off of multiple lower body injuries, hip injuries, LCL injury, PCL injuries, things like that. And for a guy who has never really been a 300-400 touch type of, I mean, most backs aren't nowadays. So there's two sides. This is amazing. And then I'm not going to lie, I'm a little worried that they're just going to, is too much usage to the point where you need him down the stretch. He going to be wore the hell down. And I understand it's football. This is the other side, maybe the third side of me where, man, it's football. These backs love to get the rock that much, et cetera, et cetera. But it's also more games. It's also better athletes. And I've been on this train for a long time. I believe at the very least, running game should be a tandem in today's game. Yes, you have a Saquon Barkley, a Derrick Henry. I get that. But majority of what the league should be trying to implement is what we saw with Zeke and TP, right? Where you have a lead guy and you have a change. I don't call him a change of pace guy, but you have a dynamic guy, thunder lightning. You know, back in the day, Tiki Barber, Ron Dane, and things like that. Like, give me that type of dynamic. And clearly, we got a thunder. Boy, do we have a thunder. We don't have that lightning.
We need lightning.
325 touches with his injury history. I do wonder if that's in the back of their minds. And if they're maybe they're like, okay, Blue will eventually get together. Maybe Miles Sanders will find that spark that he had. And that's what they're going to do. But until then, I want to get to week 10 and my man is sitting on 250 touches. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something to keep in mind is all.
No, I mean, I expressed this concern on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. I expressed the same concern on Girls Talk, Boys Talk about, his usage and even on that 66-yard play. He looked like he needed to take a breath.
He did.
Him couldn't because you're in the red zone. And I don't think that, again, the coaches are still gaining some rapport with Jaden Blue and all that stuff. He still has to get a feel for the game. And I also think that Schotty said something yesterday, Sky, that stood out to me that I thought watching the game is that Schotty also has to get a feel for how to set up Jaden Blue. Like for him to run plays for him and not because some of the plays he ran, he called himself out on them. He literally said,
yep.
That play that I ran was crap for him.
Yep.
I love that awareness by him to know like that was more of a Javonte play. we're asking him to do something that is not his game.
Very good
This
point.
this offense has developed more efficiency in the screen game. Those are the type of things I think about with Jadon Blue.
And he said
Or
he said I need to call more.
yeah,
Called himself out on that.
yeah. So the awareness from the head coach to know those things. We'll see if Jadon Blue can get his legs under him, get a feel. We saw the blitz pick up by him. So good thing. And now Dak was like, hey, get your ass over there. But still, we saw him pick it up, was able to take on that contact. I am very curious to your point of what the decisions are going to be moving forward. Does Jadon Blue get to play this week? Are we going to see him slowly but surely get more snaps? Because I agree with you. You gotta figure out how to not only give the defense another look, but also to take care of Javonte Williams. I think people talk so great about him in the locker room, who he is as a worker, all that stuff. Protect the player. If you give a damn about the player, protect the player. If you give a damn about the player, preserve the player. And ignoring what you have going on behind him is not going to benefit him. And baby, before we know it, it's going to be cold. Them joints going to start getting a little tighter and all that stuff. Listen, like, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. They got to figure out this running back 2 situation. And if it's not in the building,
Go get
go
it.
do what you need to do. Now, how would you feel, because you do have a film offer that we saw, if it's not working out with Blue? Are Javonte and Blue and are Javonte and Mafa too alike to you, or do you think that Mafa could be
I
some of that
No,
lightning that you're
he's not a
talking about?
lightning. But
He's not a lightning.
if they don't believe in Blue being RB2, then see what you got with the kid. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's Thunder and Thunder. It's at the point where I don't want Javonte Williams finishing the season with 350 touches.
I don't either, bro.
Like, I don't even know if he makes. And I'm not trying to be cynical. It's just this is a guy that is tough, man. You're dealing with all those injuries and it's tough to really do that in today's game. Only what five? I don't even think five. I think 4 players had 325 plus touches last year. It doesn't. If it was that easy, everyone would do it.
That's just not how football works no more.
It's
And
not.
it doesn't work like that intentionally
Yeah.
to take care of the running back position and to get the most out of the running back position. So I share the same concern, Big Brody, and I hope that they're able to figure out how they're going to navigate that.
I mean, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. That is literally the picture perfect of what you want. Obviously, one is a first round pick. The other was a high-ish price free agent. He was the top of the market at the time, which was a lot during that time. But that's so they invested in that 1-2 punch. Dallas, not so much in the backfield. But
you got Javonte on a discount. Don't be cheap.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the bag. But what Bree said. Bree said they went to TJ Maxx. I don't want them to. You got him on a really good deal. If you don't feel like Jadon Blue's gonna come on with it, or Miles Sanders gonna come on with it, open up that pocketbook and do what you need to do to make that running back room better in that way. So go ahead.
I agree, man. I agree. Hey, speaking of Javonte Williams, got to talk to y'all about my sleeper pick last week, which involved Javonte Williams. Let me give y'all my recap. I did not hit on all 3, but I did hit on the Cowboys picks. I had Jay Will getting an anytime touchdown. He got 2 of them things. I had Jake Ferguson getting more than 5.5 receptions because, of course, no Kevontae Turpin, no CeeDee Lamb. He going to get more than 5. He got 7 of them things. But I had Justin Fields running for more than 48 yards, and that did not happen. But I'm glad it didn't happen because that means the Cowboys defense showed up and showed out in regards to keeping a running quarterback in check which historically speaking does not happen. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get a free $20 entry with Sleeper, you can. No deposit is needed, and you still get that 100% match up to $100 by using the promo code STEELE, STEELE. I know y'all know football, so use that football knowledge to make real money with Sleeper, the ultimate fantasy sports app that could turn game day into payday. Just download the app. At the very least, select 2 or more of your favorite players. You can select a bunch more, but you just need at least 2 from the previous game or during the game, or pregame, or during the game. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Use a promo code STEEL, STEELE, and you will get that 100% match up to $100. I will have my picks on Wednesday for Thursday night, and I will have my picks on Friday for the Cowboys game coming up on Sunday. So make sure y'all keep it locked here and keep it locked with Sleeper.
Okay.
I don't want to. So I want to get to fourth down. I do, because I want to get to our game. But just we'll try to be brief. You know, me and Tuai, we can go. Try to be brief here, man. We all the way. We just now talking about Dak Prescott.
Barnacles. It's cruel. I've been sprinkling them in there a little bit.
Like it. But I love that. But man, we can't underestimate where he's at right now. I use the basketball analogy. The hoop looks like an ocean. It's that, but the more basketball analogy, he is a mix right now. We're talking about point guards, right? He's a mix. He's got some Steve Nash going on. He's got some Magic Johnson going on. He's got some Pistol Pete going on right now. He's got a mix of it. When you need to get some buckets, Pistol got you, right? When you need to play, distribute the rock, Magic got you. And then when you got a very underrated, I think, all-time point guard in Steve Nash, who dribble around that rim, you never know, bow, hit Maury Stoudemire with a oop, he got you. Dak Prescott in the zone, man. And I think it was you, I text, Vach, Foots, and I'm like, this is really feeling like Drew Brees and Sean Payton at the height of their game, and this connection we're seeing with Dak and Schotty, complementing each other so well. He is really making up for some things on the field, whether it be offensive line or what have you. And he's just a maestro. He's distributing when he needs to, and he's making plays when he needs to. And he believes in this, what's happening out there. And I don't want to talk a bunch about the MVP, the three-letter, I don't really care about that in week 5. I just know my quarterback's playing at an extremely high level that is sustainable and can get you to the playoffs. Now, I think the other side of the ball is going to have a lot to say about what you do in the playoffs, but this level of play can at least lead you there.
Man, I feel like it was in OTAs or mini camp. I don't remember, but I know I was there. I was standing there. But I seen it. I heard it. I'm please y'all don't quote me on this, because I feel like I heard it, because it stuck with me. I feel like I heard Dak Prescott say, "This is how I always envisioned playing football." I cannot remember. I looked for the quote. I tried to find it, but I know he said that in my heart and in my soul. But I think that him and Schotty are two peas in a pod, dog. And I feel like I remember asking Dak about Schotty when I was in the locker room, and he lit up talking about him. And this is before Schotty was this is when he was the OC
by name
at that time and whatever. And Dak talked about him in such a way that I hadn't heard him really talk about. I've heard him talk about Jason Garrett. I've heard him talk about Mike McCarthy. I've heard him talk about Kellen Moore. The energy he had talking about Schotty let me know that they really get each other. And I think I'm gonna read you this stat right here, and I think that this tells the story. Hold on. I'm lying. Hold on. Let me go find it. It's in regard to the play action game. And yes, here it is. It says Dak Prescott total EPA, expected points added on play action this year, plus 19.8. Dak Prescott total EPA on play action in the previous 3 years combined, 8.9. Now, hear me out. I understand part of that has to do with the lack of run game you have, but then I also just think it has to do with the play caller knowing what the hell your quarterback does well and playing to the strength. Shout out to Bobby Bell. All of 4 of Dak's touchdowns came from play action yesterday. For the year, he's 46 of 53, 86.8% completion percentage. 463 yards. He's averaging almost 9 yards a play in that. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, with 134.5 passer rating.
And the zero turnover-worthy plays.
0 turnover-worthy plays. The play caller is letting the quarterback play the game. You can tell Dak has a lot of control, but you can tell that he trusts what the play caller is doing. And I also think, Sky, and I'm going to say this, those wheels look okay on Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Those wheels look okay on Dak Prescott. He
and it's
worked his
helped.
ass off in the off season,
Yeah,
and he talked about working on his flexibility, which is what I wanted him to do. Working on his flexibility, making sure that was something we saw in training camp that people was panicking about. I remember people was like, "Why is he running so much?" I said, "Good."
yeah.
Like the
You
Donald
want his body to get used
good.
to it. So by the
Yes.
time he gets to the seat, because he even talked about that last year, where he said he didn't really train to do all of this, and that's why he was
Yes.
like, my body, I was too tight.
Yes.
I wasn't, or too one of the two. But he said,
He's
I
too
trained my
tight.
body to be able to take this.
Yeah, his hips were too tight, and he's always kind of been a stiff player. So he took the initiative, and I think we talk about the run game, Sky. His legs and him using them is something that defenses are about to start honoring again because he will take off and make you pay. And another thing too is his clock. It goes back to what you were talking about with just how well he's navigating the line of scrimmage and stuff. Is that
Total
he
control.
goes into that drop dog, and when he don't see it, he's putting his foot in the ground and he's trying to squeeze through those A gaps and B gaps and making these guys
Well, his
pay. And
pocket awareness is. I mean, if you go look
it's
at
through
this
the
game,
roof.
y'all. I mean, again, the reason why I think a lot of people came out this game like, oh man, pass protection great, because Dak, because
He can
Dak was
feel
able
the
to
pressure.
navigate within the pocket, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're that caliber of quarterback to help these guys. And that's why going into this game, I was like, look, the tackles are going to give up pressures, but Dak can handle it. Just don't
Mhm,
give up no quarterback can handle interior pressure in your face. But let me
mhm.
give you some stats about pressure. Speaking of which is one of my favorite stats right now for Dak. He is the number one quarterback when handling pressure this year, 41 of 61. By the way, 3 drops, 511 yards, 8 big time throws, which is the most in the NFL, and just three turnover worthy plays. And his pressure to sack ratio is 8.5%, which is third in the NFL. He is handling the pressure at an elite level. Now, he's always been a really, really good against the pressure, but when you have as much injuries as you have, when you have a new offensive scheme, when you got guys in and out on the exterior, the perimeter, there's a lot of things that can make your trust get a little wonky, but it's not. He's
Mhm.
delivering literally in the pressure moments at a high level, elite level. And when you factor that in with the statistics that you brought up with play action, you gotta, in my opinion, maybe the most complete quarterback playing a football game right now.
Mhm.
And that's with all due respect to the guys like Lamar Jackson, who's amazing with his legs. But Dak doesn't need to use his legs like Lamar because Dak throws the ball better. Josh Allen, who is playing at a high level as well, but from a consistency basis, I think Dak has been playing he's been playing really like this from game one. He's
Yeah,
just
the record
dude's
don't
dropping the
show what
ball.
he's been playing like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your team's not. Well, I'll say this: the Bears game,
it was
the
kind
Bears
of ugly.
game was the lesser of the games.
It was
But
dusty and
even
rusty.
in the Bears games, I think you saw him make some high level throws. It just took them a while to get going. But I'll just say this: he's been extremely consistent against the pressure. He loves the play action. I love the nugget of he said this is how I always believe I wanted to play quarterback. I think that's a homage to how he thought he would play coming in because he was he was play action guy. He was under center guy. He was move around a little bit with his legs guy. And then it was, hey, that get to the line of scrimmage and be Peyton Manning. And look, he's handled it as best as you can, but that's a lot to ask each and every week when you're not a complimentary football team, whether it be offense or defense. We're not a complimentary football team with the run game. It's a lot to ask for any quarterback. And we've
Mhm.
seen it time and time again. Again, I go back to Josh Allen. Josh Allen having to play Superman did not pan out well for them. It was Joe Brady who said, whoa, slow it down. You're throwing too many turnovers because you got to play Superman. We're going to give you a run game. We're going to give you a better scheme to help you out. I think Schotty doing that, it makes it easier for Dak. And that's
These
not a
buttons.
it's not a knock because
Mhm.
and while it's making it easier for Dak, he still has to perform and he is performing. But I love that it doesn't always have to be on his shoulders. And for too many years, many people want that. I don't want that. That's why I don't complain about quarterbacks who have help. I want my quarterback to have the damn help.
Right.
I never understood that. He got help. Okay, give me that.
Good.
Whether it's players, whether it's general manager, whether it's coaching, I want that for my guy. And I think that is happening right now. And Dak is rewarding the organization for that, just playing at a high level. And I think he can
Yeah.
keep it up.
And if you give him that, like he's already had to he's been playing the game on hard mode his whole career almost. So now he built the endurance to be able to and the wherewithal like he's learned how to navigate the line of scrimmage. But now like you said, he has a coach that puts him in position to where he takes pressure off of him. So it's probably that much easier for him now. So yeah, like you said, just playing football at a high level. I think this is the Dak Prescott that I always thought we would see. And another thing too, Scott, he older. He has seen everything.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
He
not much
mentioned
you
that
can throw
too.
at him that he hasn't seen at this point, and
Mhm.
that's the maturation that we expect to see in quarterback development. But we're not going to go there because we know that people don't care about quarterbacks developing anymore. Everyone's so microwave. So
I think
I
that's
had to
every
think of my
position now. It is now translated to every position, and I think that's the pressure that the NFL is putting on organizations because coaches get fired real fast.
Mhm.
General managers I think have a little bit longer leash than these coaches do nowadays. But yeah, I mean it takes some time, but also again it's hard to really wait for these high end. It's hard. It's hard to be like, I'm gonna take a quarterback in third overall, top five. Like we'll wait for 4 years. You really can't no more.
Not 4
It's
years, but my golly.
I mean, but sometimes it takes that. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield, the Sam Darnold's, the Geno Smith. These guys, it took them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to really get going. But unfortunately, the league just doesn't have the time. And if you don't hit in that rookie contract, they look, and sometimes earlier they looking to move the hell on. And that's why some of these guys that do come in better situations, they look better. I always say,
Yeah.
I don't think some of these quarterbacks look like they look if they were here in Dallas. That's all I'm gonna
You
say.
hear me? You
That's
hear me? You hear me?
all I'm gonna
You hear
say.
me? Dang, the Poe defense. We didn't talk about them at all.
We didn't. I mean, we could go overtime. We haven't
You
went.
said you're not going to. What time? How far are we?
We about 50 in.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
quickly,
yeah, we can.
real quick, because you're right. We didn't get to the defense. I would just be quick with it. I thought Y.A. Thomas, I thought played well in substitution for Malik Hooker, who was out. Saved you a couple touchdowns, by the way. Brees Hall.
Mhm.
Um, the Shamar James 15 tackle thing went crazy during the game, but when you go back and watch, it's not what you think there. But it was good to see him get his feet wet and play a lot, and I do think he delivers a mean strike. And just getting him out there, getting that experience was heavy. Concern wise, and on the defense run game, I thought run defense is starting to
Man, the
get a little
defensive
weird.
tackles was getting turned, big
Getting a little
dog.
weird right now. Getting a
But
little weird over
little
the last
weird.
2 weeks, run game wise, and your backers did not help either.
Run fits wasn't good.
Just was not good, and
Dusty.
it was pretty bad. But pass rush, woke
Oh,
the hell
oh,
up. I mean, they
oh.
pretty much doubled every damn thing in this game, man.
Mhm.
In Houston, we have some pressure.
Yeah.
James Houston showed out right there. And shouts out to Dante Fowler for kind of waking up as well. So the pressure showed up too high. If we can get
Yeah.
that damn pressure every week, now we on to something.
Hopefully, we can build upon that. Hopefully, Dante Fowler, maybe he just needed to. We are in week 5. There is an acclimation period for guys. Like, hopefully, he is got his legs under him, and we see more of that from him. Marshawn Nealon was a game time decision. James Houston got more snaps because of that, and we got to see him rush the passer. Now, Shotty did mention that they are trying to find ways to fit James Houston in because he is a bit undersized, and they're talking about some of the run game stuff, and you saw that on film,
I'm
some of it he
saying
can get caught inside. So it's like you got a lot of guys on this defensive line that are this or that. And that's the weird thing. And that's the hard thing because the substitutions and knowing when to put guys in and all that stuff, it kind of puts you in a weird place. Obviously, Dallas got ahead offensively, so you were able to just pin your ears back
Yep.
and rush the passer. But if you were in a situation where this is a close game, the amount of rotating you're gonna have to do, I think that the defensive side of the ball is still trying to figure out which guys work well in what spots. But Donovan is Raku too. You see him. I feel like his processing is getting faster. I feel like he's having more of a pass rush plan and he's getting closer. But yeah, the back, I didn't think that they scraped
Yeah.
or filled in the run well. The defensive tackles got turned. I felt like Kenny Clark struggled a few times. Also, Mozzie, we already know how that is. Even Clowney was getting pushed off the screen a
Clowney got
couple times. So
pancaked on one of these
they
plays.
really got to figure out it can't be this or that, big bro. Like they've been better stopping the run, and then now they rush the passer well this week, but the run fits aren't good. So I'm just waiting for them to put it together. You talked about Shamar James. He still has to.
Young.
He a nugget. He
Yeah,
still got to
yeah.
feel the game. I think
I,
Kenneth Murray.
still
Has his
roll with the
times.
Young Bucks.
I would
I
too.
will roll with the Young Bucks because there's upside over the
You
other
might as
guys.
well, because if your veterans is wrong, let the Nuggets be wrong.
Because I mean, you know what's so funny? I think I texted you this during the game. I said Leah Fowl literally validated what the hell I was talking about last week. In that, look, he's going to make mistakes, but he's going to make a play. And I don't think you have that ability in Murray and Sanborn. I think Shamar James, who didn't make a play, but whatever. I think he has the skills. But Leah Fowl will. And he went out there, punched that ball, got the fumble recovery, right? And the Cowboys go down and score a touchdown. So, like, if you're going to live with mistakes, live with the mistakes with guys that can go make plays in that sense. And I want to touch back on the Houston thing because we all are screaming for Houston to get more snaps. And I had this conversation with somebody that called in yesterday. And I was like, I have to wonder if the reason why you should be able to be okay with living in the 25 to 30 range with him is he's very small. He's an undersized guy, and he legitimately is a designated pass rusher. He's not a defensive. And it's so funny. I don't want to be petty. I think it's hilarious though. I don't want to be petty.
Okay.
Everything you despise about a particular guy who's no longer here is quite literally what that guy would present if he is a starter. It is not a guy that you want, which in my opinion, let's not do this thing that y'all trying to do, by the way. I see y'all out there. Let's not do it. But I don't know if he's the guy you want to get 60 snaps a game. Because that's not a run defensive end. I don't even think he's particularly good in it, but I never really reviewed him as that. Will he make a play in there? Sure. But he came in as a designated pass rusher.
Yep.
That's what you want him to be. You want him to go 110% for about 20 plays. But because you ain't getting much else from the pass rush standpoint, we like, yo, that motherfucker need to play. Because he's going to go out there and make play. He's going to put pressure. And he is going to put pressure on guys. So when you get up, that's the guy you want out there. But if the games are close or running, it gets a little tricky because they can displace him with ease. With ease. Okay. And it's a tricky world to live in right now with Houston because he's a DPR guy, but he is your most dynamic rusher right now. And no one is really offering you pass rush ability consistently as he is from a dynamic standpoint. You hope that Fowler keeps this up, but we hadn't seen that until week 5, right? Week 4, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and and you hope that Izaraku still.
And he's a rookie. And the reason why I leave him out because he's a rookie. He's it's not fair to put that on him. I mean, you shouldn't have to have done that, but that's the world we live in now. So just wanted to touch base on that. I wonder if that's why they're kind of capping.
Well, Schotty said it. He said it yesterday. Yeah. He said it yesterday. And when he said it, I said, oh, it makes sense now. Hopefully you get Nealon back because I think outside of Clowney, he might be your best run defending end that you have. Outside of that, the most disciplined one. But that's the point. And Eberflus alluded to it, and I know we gotta go, but Eberflus alluded to availability playing a factor in some of the decisions he's making. And I understand that. Course. Of course. And keeping an eye on DeRon Bland. Because I think he is still trying to get his confidence about him, get his feet and corner don't mix. So hopefully he's able to build upon, and get his legs under him, and we start seeing him look a little bit more like himself. Thought we saw a decent game from Trayvon Diggs. Reddy Stewart's gonna have his few little hiccups, but for the most part, he's been pretty quiet. We don't talk about him, which is good. That means he ain't getting lit up. So, and to your point about my last point, to your point about Wanye Thomas, I think Wanye Thomas and his range and his ability to get hash to hash, and you trust in that, gives Flus more freedom to let Donovan come in the box and help out in the run. And I think I think there was some trust there with the corners as well. It felt like so.
Ironically, they played more cover 2 in this game than they did all year, which is strange because it's just pass game is not that great.
I felt like they needed to do that. Maybe they felt like they needed to do that with because of Fields. Because of the running ability?
Possibility. That's very possible. It was ironic to me because like they don't have weapons to really say I need to put 2 guys on the roof more than ever this season. But maybe Flus is trying to mix some things up and it worked. I don't think they really teed off in the pass game till the end, right? Where they were just kind of just letting them and allowing them to matriculate down the field. It was the run game that was the most concerning aspect. Run defense that was the most concerning aspect here.
I agree.
Real quick, on the way out, we listen. We don't judge. Whatever it is on your mind, I won't judge. I'll reply, but I won't judge. I'll go first so you can. I'm not sure if you thought about yours yet. And Cowboys Nation, you guys can obviously join as well in the chat.
Oh, I got one.
So Jerry Jones spoke today about improving the roster. They asked him, "Hey, Jerry, improve the roster. What do you think?" Yada yada yada. And ahead of the trade deadline, which is in 3 weeks, by the way. And he said we're open for business. Like, and look, open for business for Jerry means we ain't picking up the phone. You call us. He's said that many of different times. However, I think they should be buyers. That's just me.
Yeah, need to be buying.
We listen, but we don't judge. The success that the Cowboys are having with the depth of their players will breed false hope for the Joneses and make them less aggressive.
I'm judging, bro.
We listen and we don't judge.
I'm judging, bro.
That's the whole point of the game.
What's the point? What am I supposed to say?
The success that the or if they continue to have this success, the Cowboys are having with their depth will breed false hope for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. And it'll make them less aggressive moving forward. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, and I hope I'm dead wrong. Because I said this the other day on my show. It should be the opposite.
I don't want to do a judge, but I'm kind of judging.
Just because hear me out then. The reason why I'm saying that is because how often do we hear we like our guys and you know what I'm saying? And we believe in our fifth guy to come in and he's gonna. But at the end of the day, as Stephen Jones like to say, when you have to go up against these teams, if you get to the playoffs and these big games, these are teams that are loaded, right? Or these are teams that are better than you talent-wise, and that always ends up showing on the damn field.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want them to fall in this false hope that we're good. We don't need to upgrade linebacker because Shamar James had 15 tackles, or we don't need to upgrade edge rush because look what Houston and them is doing. Like, that's my worry, is that they get comfortable because of the success of the depth. So that's all. That's all.
My bad.
Are you good?
Tater tots.
We're on the last segment anyway, so just go on here. We great.
My bad. Oh, okay. So here's mine. It ain't that complicated.
Okay.
That seam ball that they keep trying to hit to Ferg, give it to Brevin Span Ford. We listen and we don't judge.
Ooh, damn. Listen, don't judge. I can't. I mean, the game is not to respond. It's supposed to not judge.
We listen and we don't judge. Just try it. They've been trying to get it for the last couple weeks. They did try it.
He dropped it against the Eagles.
Exactly. Get the Brevin Span Ford.
Come on, Span
Let's see if
Ford.
we can get it. Barnacle. I seen it. Try it again. Do something. Yeah. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I don't mind for this. Ain't me poo-pooing on Ferg. This is me just saying, let's see if another guy can hit it, because you need to hit it. I think you need to hit it for what defenses are doing towards you, especially what they're doing with your guys on the outside. Hitting that seam ball is going to give somebody else something else to think about. The quarterback loves throwing it because it does really make the defense be like, my God, like if I don't do anything in this middle of the field, they're going to tear me up. You're not tearing it up the way that you need to tear it up over there. And I need that seam route to hit. What's the theory?
They ain't calling it.
Why?
I don't know if you know. Go watch the film.
They're not calling it. Is it maybe because they don't want him to get lit up?
No. You're missing it.
What am I missing?
Your tackles.
Oh, they can't stand up there. Barnacles.
I promise y'all. Go watch the first 2 games. They
Ah.
threw. I think this might be overestimation. I want to say they threw about 6 or 7 of them. This is no joke.
I hate it when you're right, bro.
They threw about 6 or 7, maybe more. I don't know, seam shots. Matter of fact, go.
What game was that? Philly
and Giants.
Yeah, they did. They were
Giants.
trying it.
Ferg went like 3 for 4. I mean, he's been low key. He's actually the hit rate has been higher than you think, but they haven't taken the shots the last 3 weeks up this. Go watch the film. They don't send them up there no more.
I mean, I've been watching, but I guess I didn't notice that.
You wouldn't notice it because they ain't doing it. So I think, and this is my theory, what's happening with it is the first 2 weeks, you don't know, you believe in your tackles, you think everything's gravy. He came out on the first 2 weeks like, hold up. Wait a minute. Our tackles is struggling a little bit. We got to help them. And what have we been saying the last 3 weeks? All flats fry hard.
No.
You haven't seen it.
I like
I
flats
want to. I
fried
want to say
hard.
that shot last week in the red zone might have been only the second one over the last. I mean, I could be wrong, but they don't take them. They haven't taken them as much because I think they're helping out their tackles more.
Fine.
Yeah.
You're right. And I know they be doing that, but I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
Because I want to attack the middle of the
I
field. How
do
people
too.
be attacking the middle of the field on you.
But this. Let me give you the upside to the other side of this.
Mm.
This is why you say clipboard warriors, man.
Mhm.
They've taken that and realized, all right, we may not be able to do it with Furman, but we're going to attack the middle of the defense with other guys.
With
in
other guys, yeah.
ways, right?
Yeah.
Javonte Turpin, Ryan Floyd on overs,
Mhm.
the slant routes, things like that.
Mhm.
They're trying to make up for that. But it will be interesting when you get back CD Lamb because teams are going to have to readjust, right? That's the other aspect of this thing is that no CD Lamb, so teams don't necessarily have to play too high and give you the middle of the field as much.
Yeah.
And your tackles ain't blocking that
We've
great.
seen a little bit more single high this past couple weeks. Yeah.
Right.
I
So
hope
it's a little theory.
well, okay, thank you for that. Cause I've been looking at it and I'm just like,
You're not
well,
doing it.
number one, the quarterback loves throwing that ball. And that's one of his best balls, but they have not been able to not only have they
Lately.
not been able to, they're not running it that much because you're talking about the tackle. So I guess you did judge me a little bit. So that's
No,
okay.
not judging. I'm not judging. Just
I
my
thought it was
theory.
I just want to see them do it.
It's my I do too.
I'm being
I could be dead
selfish.
wrong. It's just a theory. I just think it's I can ask about it. I can reach out and
I'm
ask.
being selfish, bro. I'm being selfish. We
No,
don't have to
no.
have it because you said they are attacking the middle of the field in different ways with these crossers, these over routes. Like they're doing stuff with the quick slants, like you were saying. They're doing stuff, but that seam route just
I love it.
it knifes through the defense, and it has to be demoralizing. It has to suck. It
And
has to
and
suck.
Ferg and him are money with it. I mean, now
Yeah.
granted, you're not 100%. Nobody's 100%, but they are pretty spot on with that damn shot. And you hope to see him. But just on your span forward thing before we go, I just want to see him get more targets. Period. I
Period.
just kind of want to see him evolve a little bit more. I mean, I don't understand this. I don't understand Jake or Schoolmaker. I don't get it. And I get that Bruh's like really good blocker in regards to span forward, but I'd like to see him get involved in the receiving game more.
Yeah, he worked his tail off to do that, and to me, I thought he was one of your best receiving tight ends. Some days he was the best receiving tight end through camp. So, yeah, I'm ready too. So that was mine. Even though you ate me up, but
No,
that was
it's a
mine.
theory. I'm not judging you. It's a theory of mine.
Fine.
That's all. That's all. It could be
Fine.
wrong. Could be wrong. Hey, this was fun. This was a good one. We got the Panthers coming up next. Maybe we might switch it up this week. We'll see. We'll see what our schedules are looking like. But the defense gave me a reason to take a look at the Panthers offense now. So kind of excited for that because they got Ted McMillan over there. The Panthers starting to put together a couple dubs. And, the defense is still, we want to see the defense stack. So we will be breaking down that, whether it be here, whether it be on our respective shows throughout this week. So make sure y'all keep it locked and do us a favor on the way out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And please follow our content everywhere. Appreciate the lovely co-host here, 2i. I'm Skywalker still. We are